You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So we will start discussing our concepts. So in the last class, we have seen what is called as impedance, and impedance is basically a frequency related term. It is not a time domain function. Okay, and it is not a phasor also. Okay, it's just a complex number. Okay, so we have already seen what is the impedance for resistor, inductor, and capacitor. Okay, so for resistor it is only R. For pure inductor it is j omega L, which is also called as inductive reactance, and for capacitor it is 1 by j omega C, which is also called as XC, capacitive reactance, and the unit for impedance is ohms. Okay, we have seen all these things. So by using phasors, we are going to get an algebraic relationship for voltage and current across the inductor as well as for capacitor also. Okay, so if you see here, the validity of Kirchhoff's two laws. Okay, the domain leads to the fact that impedance may also be considered in series and parallel by the same rules as we have used for resistance. That means we have seen what is resistance, and one resistance in series and parallel, how we are going to deal with. Okay, so impedance is also the same thing. That means the rules which are applicable for resistor, how you are going to calculate the equivalent resistance of a parallel resistors. Okay, or series connected resistors, how you are going to find out equivalent. All those rules which were discussed for resistor alone in DC circuits are exactly applicable for impedance in AC circuits. Only difference is in DC circuits resistor is only the real part. In the case of an impedance, it is a complex number. It can have real part alone or imaginary part alone, or it can be both real plus imaginary. So that is called as impedance. So the rules what we have seen, so those all are applicable for impedance also. Okay, so we will straight away go and see one example how to calculate inductive reactance or capacitive reactance and find out the total impedance. So here one example was given at omega is equals to 10 into 10 power 3 radians per second. A 5 millihenry inductor is in series with 100 microfarad capacitor. Find the equivalent impedance that can be replaced by the sum of the individual impedances. Okay, so what they are saying is they are saying they are having an inductance and capacitance in series and find out the total impedance. That's what they are asking us to find out. Okay, so I hope you should be able to do this. Okay, so try to calculate what is the impedance for inductor. How much?
50 ohm.
50 ohms. Okay, so what is that you have to do? Z, we will call it as inductive reactance. If you call, you can represent with XL. Okay, XL is the notation for inductive reactance. Okay, if you say it in terms of ZL, ZL is equals to 0 plus J into XL. Okay, 0 means the resistance value, so resistance is 0, so that's why you will call it as 0. Real part is 0. Okay, so plus J into omega L will be the inductive reactance or the impedance for inductor alone. So let's see that what is that value. So ZL they are giving us J into omega into L. Omega information was given, L information is also given. So we have got J 50 ohms. Okay. So unit is ohms. Similarly, find out the capacitance reactance and find the 1 ohm. So okay. Okay.
1.
Okay, 1 ohm. Okay. So what will be the series combination?
49.
49. So how you have calculated XC? XC formula is 1 by j omega C. Okay. Z C if you call Zc is equals to 0 plus 1 by j omega c. Okay. Always remember, for inductor it is j omega L, for X if you call it is 1 by j omega c. So it will be in the denominator. Okay. Right. Okay. So Zc is equals to, or Xc is equals to 1 by j omega c. Okay. So in the denominator we have j omega c. Okay. So I can multiply in the numerator as well as denominator with j. Okay. So if I do that, denominator it will become j square. So j square is, you remember, j square is equals to -1, or j is equals to root of -1. I hope you know this. So in the denominator you will get j square. So j square is -1. So that's why you have got minus sign in the numerator, and in the denominator you have already j. Because you have multiplied numerator and denominator with j, you will get this kind of expression. Okay. So minus j by omega c. So if you calculate omega c, so omega is given as 10 into 10 power 3 and c is 100 microfarad. So you will get 1. So minus j 1. Okay. So please remember, mostly in all the cases capacitance will have negative sign in the numerator. So if you are bringing on the j onto the numerator, you will get minus sign. Okay. For inductor it will be mostly positive. Okay. So what will be the series combination of these two? Plus 50 minus j1. So it should be equals to plus j49 ohms. So this is the equivalent impedance for the series connected inductor and capacitor given in the question. Did everyone understand this thing?
Yes, sir.
Or anyone has any doubt regarding this? Okay. Is it clear? I hope it is clear for everyone. If you have any doubt, please ask now itself. Okay. Because next we will see a little bit more complex circuits. So this concept is necessary for you to understand if you want to do something in that question, next questions. Okay. So no doubt, I think so. So we'll go forward. Okay. So next they are asking us to, so little bit more they have given. So determine the equivalent impedance of the network shown in figure given an operating frequency of 5 radians per second. Okay. So 5 radians per second is your omega, and they are asking us to find out what is the equivalent impedance. So equivalent impedance seen from the left side open circuit terminals. Okay. So what you have to do first? First you have to convert this. This is a time domain circuit, we'll call it. You have to convert into equivalent frequency domain circuit. That means there should not be any L. You can have inductive reactance. Okay. J omega L should be there. There should not be any capacitance in your circuit. You can have capacitive reactance. Okay. So Xc should be there, or XL should be there in your circuit, and resistors can be there. So when you convert in that format, then we'll call it as a frequency domain circuit. Okay. So simply you are converting into ohms, everything, all parameters into ohms, unit of ohms. So try to do that first, and then we can reduce and find out the total equivalent impedance. So please try to do that. Convert the inductance into inductive reactance and capacitance into capacitive reactance first. Did anyone find the equivalent inductive reactance for 2 Henry inductor shown here?
0.1.
0.1.
10J.
10J, sir. 10J.
Okay, so let's see that. What about the capacitive reactance for 200 millifarad?
Minus J.
Minus 1J
Minus
or
J.
minus J. Okay. What about 500 millifarad capacitive reactance?
Minus
0.4
2.5.
J.
When you say capacitance, you should always say that minus sign also. Okay, right. So minus J 0.4 maybe. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so did everyone try doing this or not? Every one of you should have a notebook and a calculator beside you if you want to do your calculations and write it on the notebook. Okay, so if only some people respond and others are simply seeing, okay, without practicing, it may be hard for you in exam. Okay, so let's see that. So for 2 Henry inductor, it will be J into omega into L. So J into 2 into 5, so it should be something like, okay, first I will calculate capacity reactance. Okay, so 1 by J omega C1. So 1 by J into 5 into 200 into 10 power minus 3. So you have got minus J1. Okay, so always remember, never forget this minus sign for your capacitor. Okay, if you forget that, then your end result will be wrong. Okay, so for capacitor, always keep that minus sign. Calculate it properly, and if you are getting minus, please place it minus. Okay, so next we will see for inductive reactance, which is J omega L, J into 5 into 2. So it should be J 10 ohms. Okay, so another one is 500 millifarad. So if you do that, you are going to get minus J 0.4 ohms. Okay, so now you can draw the equivalent circuit, that means frequency domain equivalent circuit for these things. So if you draw that, then you are going to get this kind of circuit. Only thing is all parameters are in ohms. Okay, so now which two elements are in parallel? How to proceed this to find the Z equivalent? Z equivalent from the left hand side. Okay, so between these two terminals I want to find what is the Z equivalent. Okay, so first thing what you have to do,
Parallel, sir.
which one?
500.
And minus
Sir,
0.6.
Okay, when you want to see what is the when you want to calculate what is the Z equivalent from at these open circuit terminals, you have to first do the parallel combination of this 6 and minus J4. Okay, whatever result you are getting, that will be in series with these two elements. So after that, you have to find that this net impedance, and then you have to find again the parallel combination of these two. Okay, we'll see that thing. Okay, so 6 and minus J4 are in parallel. So similar to resistance R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So here you will have Z1 into Z2 by Z1 plus Z2. So if you do that, you are going to get 6 into minus J 0.4 divided by 6 minus J 0.4. So you will get something like this. Okay, so try to solve that and check whether you are getting this answer or not.
Yeah.
You are getting?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you it's simple multiplication and division of complex numbers only. Okay, so if you do that, you are getting a real part of 0.0266 minus j 0.398. Okay, so that is the equivalent of this parallel combination. So you have got this one, and you have to add these two to this thing. So if you see here, you have minus j1. Always real component only can be added to a real term, and imaginary component can be added only to the imaginary term. So if you see here, this is imaginary term minus j1 and plus j10. So series of these two will be plus j9, and you have minus j 0.398. So it will be, if you add the result with this thing, you will get something maybe plus 8.6 something around. Okay, plus j 8.6 around you will get. Okay, so this is your real term. Then again you have to do z1 z2 by z1 plus z2. Okay, so try to solve that. Try to find the z equivalent. If anyone has doubt, please ask. Okay, did anyone get it?
Sir, 4.25 plus 4.92 iota.
Okay. Okay, 4.25 plus j 4.92 you got. So let's see that. Okay, maybe I have written in polar form. Okay, so maybe the polar equivalent of this, what I have got, you can also try to convert into a polar form.
Yes, sir. I got, sir. 6.
Okay, okay, so you will get 6.511 at an angle of 49.194. Okay, so these are all things you can do in calculator. So converting rectangular to polar, polar to rectangular. If you are doing manually, I mean in terms of converting into cos plus j sine, you may require more time. That's all. Okay, so try to use your calculator. So if you practice more, then you can do this very fastly. Okay, so this is your Z equivalent. So everything is similar to your DC circuit case only. Only thing is you are going to deal with complex numbers here. Okay, rectangular form or polar form. So you are going to deal with complex numbers, which is impedance. Okay. Okay, so next we will try to find out current in this circuit. So in the last class, someone has asked what will happen if my source is not a function of cos, if it is a function of sine. So how to deal with? Okay, so that time we have discussed we can convert the sine function into an equivalent cosine function by adding or subtracting minus 90. Okay, so In this question they are asking find the current I of t in the circuit. Okay. So first you have to convert this time domain circuit into an equivalent phasor domain circuit. That means your voltage should be in a phasor form. All your resistances and inductances should be in impedance format. Okay. So try to convert this circuit and the voltage into a phasor form. What will be the phasor equivalent for this voltage source? What will be the phasor equivalent for this voltage source? Can anyone say?
Sir, 40 at an angle of plus 90.
40 at an angle of plus 90. Are you sure? It's plus 90 or
Sorry, sir,
minus 90?
minus 90. Minus 90. Minus 90.
Okay, so it should be minus 90. If you want, you add plus 90 and minus 90 with 3000 t plus 90 minus 90 you can add, and then you can convert it. If you are confident enough by seeing the function itself, you can straight away say, if you are writing in terms of cos, so the sine function will be 90 degrees lagging, so you will get 40 at an angle of minus 90 as the phasor voltage. Okay, so next try to convert this 1 by 3 Henry into an equivalent inductive reactance and 1 by 6 microfarad into an equivalent capacitive reactance.
1000 J.
How much for inductive reactance?
J1000.
J1000. Okay. What about capacitive reactance? Okay. Some value you'll get. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so is everyone clear regarding this voltage source converting into an equivalent cost function?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you should get 40 at an angle of minus 90. So if you see here, this is your voltage source 40 into sine of 3000 t plus 90 minus 90 I have done. Okay, so if you are converting into equivalent cosine function, this minus 90 will be left. So you are having 40 at an angle of minus 90 as your phasor source voltage. Okay. So inductive reactance J omega L, J into 3000 into 1 by 3. So it should be J 1000. For capacitive reactance, 1 by J omega C will be this one. So if you are bringing the J to the numerator, it will become minus J 2000 ohms. Okay. So this is the equivalent circuit in phasor format. Okay. So all the variables are written in phasor format. Okay. So now they are asking us to find out this current phasor, and then you have to convert into equivalent time function of the current. So try to calculate what is the equivalent impedance for this entire combination. So this is 100 minus J 2000 in parallel with plus J 1000. So you have to do that, and then you have to add 1500 real term to that. So try to solve that and find the current phasor. Or first let me know what is your Z equivalent.
Sir, 1500 ohm plus 1000 J.
1500 ohm plus 1000 J. Okay.
Yes, sir.
1.5 ohm 1.5 J plus 0.5.
1.5. You are saying current or impedance?
Sir, Z.
Z. Okay, so two people have got different answers. Anyway, let's see. So how to proceed is, first you have to add this 100, this 1000 and minus J 1000. So 1000 minus J 2000 is your series combination of this one that you have to in parallel with J 1000. Okay, so Z1 Z2 by Z1 plus Z2 you have to do. Then you should add 1500 to the real term. Okay, so this is what you have to do, parallel combination, and then you have to add 1500 to that. Okay, so Z equivalent we got 2000 plus J 1500. Okay, so this is what I got. So did anyone get this or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so others also please try to do that. Okay, so maybe somewhere you have removed J. Always write minus if you are getting capacitive reactance. Always try to write minus J. Okay, so if you simply miss that minus, then you will add your addition and subtraction. Everything will go in wrong direction. Okay, so Z equivalent is 2000 plus J 1500. If you are writing in polar form, it will be 2500 at an angle of 36.86. So this is your Z equivalent. Now you have to calculate the current phasor. So current I will be voltage phasor divided by Z equivalent. Okay, so it will be 40 at an angle of minus 90 divided by 2500 at an angle of 36.86. Okay, so calculate that current and then convert it into an equivalent time domain function. Try to do that. Yeah.
Sir, I is 0.016 at an angle of minus 126.86, sir.
Minus 126.86. Okay, it seems to be correct. Okay, so because minus 90 and this will be in the denominator, so when you bring it to the numerator it will become minus 36. So minus 126.86, your angle is correct, and I expect your amplitude is also
62.5.
okay. What is this 62.5 phase angle you are saying?
No, sir. 62.5 is amplitude.
Amplitude. I don't think that is correct, because 40 divided by 25. 40 divided by 2500 you have to. So 0.016 seems to be correct.
Sorry,
Okay,
sir.
please.
Minus, sir, minus 0.01 minus 0.012 J. Sorry. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see that. So you are getting something like this. It's pretty simple. 40 at an angle of minus 90 is there. 2500 at an angle of plus 36 is there. Okay, so 40 divided by 2500. So if you do that, you are going to get 0.016 as your amplitude. Okay, so that means this is your maximum value. Okay, and the phase angle when this goes to the numerator, 36, when this goes to the numerator, it will become minus sign. So it will be minus 126.86. Okay, so this is your phasor current. So convert back that one into an equivalent time domain function. Okay, always phasors can be converted into an equivalent time domain function, or a time domain function can be converted into a phasor form. So if you do that, current will be this much, 0.016 into cos of 3000 t minus 126.86. Okay, right. This is your cosine function. So you can always convert into a sine function if you want. Okay. So they have asked current expression in time domain. So we have given that here. Okay. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So how to calculate the equivalent impedance, how to calculate the current phasor and convert that current phasor into an equivalent time domain function. Okay. So I hope this, these examples are good enough to understand regarding impedance and converting phasor to time domain or time domain to phasor. Okay. So anyone has any doubt in this? Okay, fine. So next is nodal and mesh analysis. So we have already seen in DC circuits nodal and mesh analysis. So same rules are applicable even for your AC circuits when voltage and currents are given in phasor format. Okay, so mostly we will use phasors only because phasors will simplify our analysis process. Okay, so the voltage current relationship is simply an algebraic relationship. Okay, right. So Kirchhoff's laws are valid for phasors. Okay, also we have an Ohm's law like relationship for all passive elements, which is V is equals to Z into I. Okay, so in other words, the laws upon which nodal analysis rests are true for phasors. That means nodal analysis is basically depending on Kirchhoff's current law or Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, mostly Kirchhoff's current law. Okay, therefore we may proceed to analyze circuits using nodal technique in sinusoidal steady state. So that means nodal technique and mesh analysis technique can be applicable for AC circuits also. Okay, in steady state condition. Okay, right. Similarly, mesh analysis is also applicable. Okay, so we have already seen what is nodal analysis and mesh analysis. Okay, so at one particular node, all the currents leaving out of that particular node, we will try to write, and we will get the expressions for all the currents. And mesh analysis is basically mesh is one which does not contain any more loops within it. Okay, so for mesh analysis there is no need to determine your branch current. You have to determine only the mesh current. Okay, right. From that mesh current we can calculate the branch currents or whatever voltages we want. Okay, so we'll quickly see one or two problems on this also. Okay, so find the time domain voltage V1 of t and V2 of t in the circuit shown below. Okay, so they are asking us to find V1 of t and V2 of t in the circuit shown below. So first what you have to see is you have to check whether all elements are given in impedance or not. Okay, so if something is there in Henry, you have to convert into equivalent inductive reactance. Okay, so in the question all are given in impedance format only, so no need of any conversion. So you have to apply nodal analysis for this to find out V1 and V2 phasors. Okay, after that we can convert into a time domain function. Okay, so try to write. Okay, before writing maybe we have to simplify these parallel branches also. Okay, so try to simplify this parallel branch as well as this one and as well as this one. You are understanding, right? Okay, 5 ohms resistor and minus J10 ohm capacitive reactance are in parallel. So try to reduce it, and at the same time you have this one minus J5 ohms capacitance and plus J10 ohms inductive reactance are in parallel. So try to reduce that and this thing also. Okay, so try to do that first and then find out the expression for V1 and V2. Okay, V1 and V2 phasors. Always remember that if I write capital letter, it is phasor. Okay, Usually we should write a capital letter and a bar over it, okay, to represent your phasors. So try to find that equivalent impedance and then find the expressions for V1 and V2. Okay. Okay, you can reduce this parallel combination or straight away also you can apply your equation. Okay, so can anyone say without reducing what could be the expression for at V1 nodal analysis?
-1 0 degree.
-1 at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay, next.
Plus V1 by 5.
Okay.
Plus V1 by minus J10.
Correct.
Plus
Next.
V1 plus V1 minus V2 by.
Yeah.
The solution of the two parallel is -10J.
Okay. Okay. So maybe I have not reduced or reduced I have not seen. Okay, let's see that. Right. Okay. So something is written here. So V1 divided by 5, that is one term, and V1 divided by minus J10, that is another term. Okay, so this current is flowing into the node, but we are trying to write an expression with all the currents coming out of the node. So you will have -1 at an angle of 0 degrees, and next you have two parallel branches. So you can do
Sir,
the
it is
parallel
-10J.
Which one? This one?
Sir,
Okay.
yes, sir, it is -10J.
-10J.
Okay. So we can reduce the parallel combination, or without reducing also we can solve that. Both methods are correct. Okay, final expression will be same. Okay, so if you reduce this and then V1 minus V2 divided by plus J10 or minus J10, whatever you are saying, so that will be same as this thing. Okay, so I have not reduced, I have straight away written. Maybe in next step I will reduce. Okay, so what will be that? V1 minus V2 divided by plus J10 is one thing, because two currents are flowing, na, if you see in that sense. So V1 minus V2 divided by plus J10, one term, and V1 minus V2 divided by minus J5. Okay, so this is how you have to write the nodal expression at node 1. Okay, so try to segregate all voltages V1 and V2 and all real current source on the right hand side. Okay, so if you do that, you are going to get this kind of expression. Try to write on your own, and we'll cross check whether what I have got and what you have got is right or wrong. I mean, same or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have got this exactly same thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So try to write the similar expression at node 2 also, at V2, and try to, segregate all V1 and V2 in one format. So let's see what will be the equation 2. Okay. Anyone
Sir.
has doubt?
Sir, can you please tell that how the fourth term in KCL at node 1 is written?
Here, this one, V1 minus V2 divided by J10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you talk about this fourth term and fifth term, okay, if you are reducing the parallel combination of this one, that means minus J5 ohms in parallel with J10. Okay. So if you reduce the parallel combination, you will get one term. Okay. So straight away you can write V1 minus V2 divided by whatever you are getting. If you are not
Sir,
reducing the parallel combination, and if you are straight away writing from the circuit what is shown, okay, we can assume that there are two currents leaving out of this node 1. Okay. One.
Sir, I am getting 10J, minus 10J.
You have written two expressions or one expression?
Sir, I have calculated the net impedance, so it is coming minus 10J for. Sir, can you please
Oh.
calculate for me?
Yes, sir, minus 10.
What is your final expression? Final expression is matching with me or not?
Sir, everything is matching, but sir, fourth term isn't matching.
Leave about this first thing. I have written equation 1 here na, with red color box.
Yes, sir.
That is exactly matching with your answer or not?
Sir, no, it won't match.
You have calculated or not?
Sir, I have not calculated, but sir, that fourth term is not correct for me.
See,
If I calculated.
how many terms are there in your first equation? How many
Sir,
terms are there?
5.
5. Okay. So you have approached the same method what I have written. Okay. So let's see that. So first three are correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So fourth term, if you see here, let's see what is the current flowing this through this plus J 10 ohms. So what will be the current leaving? V1 minus V2 divided by impedance you have to write. Okay. So V1 minus V2 divided by plus J 10 ohms will be the current flowing through this J 10 ohms inductance. V1
Sir,
minus V2 divided by Z you have to put here. So Z is J10 here.
Sir, for fourth term.
Yeah, this is fourth term, right? You are talking about this one, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's of capacitor.
Okay. If you want this capacitor, okay. So for capacitor, it is okay. V1 minus V2 divided by this capacitive reactance. Okay, so maybe you have done mistake in that point. Always remember ZC is equals to 1 by J omega C. Okay, right. So here they have given straight away ZC. That means 1 by J omega C is equals to minus J5. That's what they have given. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So its unit is ohms. Okay. So that means to find out the current, it should be voltage divided by impedance, which is unit has ohms. So V1 minus V2 divided by minus J5 straight away you can write.
Sir, so net impedance we can take out from a parallel formula like minus J5 into J10 upon minus J5 plus J10.
Yeah,
R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2.
you can do that.
Sir.
If you do that, then there will not be fourth and fifth terms. You will have only one term. Okay. So that is V1 divided by V1 minus V2 divided by net impedance. That's all.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You are understanding. I have got 5 terms in my expression since I have not reduced or not I have not calculated the net impedance of the parallel combinations. That's why I am having 5 terms. If you are finding the parallel combination, then you will not have 5 terms in your first equation. You will have only 4 terms. V1 minus V2 divided by net impedance, whatever you are getting. Okay. Okay, let's see what is the net impedance here. So what is the parallel combination? Minus J5 into plus J10 divided by minus J5 plus J10. So denominator will be plus J5. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Denominator will be plus J5 and numerator will be J square becomes minus of minus, so it will become plus. So 5 into 10, so something like 50 divided by plus j5.
5j cap. Yes, sir.
50 divided by plus j5.
5j.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
J10, sir.
So it will be minus j10.
Yes, sir. Minus j10, sir. So I am getting minus j10 and there v1 bar minus v2 bar upon plus j10 in fourth term. Sir, it's the same thing
No,
for
no, no,
system.
no, no, no. You are getting confused. Okay. What you have done is exactly right. Okay. What I have done is also exactly right. Okay. If you are doing like that, okay. So what you do is, in my expression, fourth term and fifth term, v1 minus v2 is common in the numerator. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you take that numerator common and try to simplify this 1 by plus j10 plus 1 by minus j5. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
We
you
have
will
taken
get
two other systems.
you
Like,
will get the same thing what you have got. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are simplifying that, then in the next equivalent circuit you will have only one term. That parallel branch will not be there. Only one impedance will be there. Okay. So straight away v1 minus v2 divided by minus j10. Okay, that's all. There ends your equation. That's all. Equals to 0.
Yes, you have
Okay.
taken two different currents for the branches, so they are being
Yeah,
two different
since I have
terms.
considered two different currents for the two branches, that is the
Yes.
reason I am getting 5 terms in my expression. Okay. Always remember how many branches are connected. So those many terms you will get. So you have 1, 2, and 3 towards the ground and 2 branches towards V2. So that's why I'm getting 5 terms in my expression. If you are reducing, before writing the nodal equation, if you are reducing the parallel combination, okay, so then the number of terms will be reduced. Okay, so for this same thing, if I reduce these two, that means 5 ohms resistor and minus j10 ohms capacitive reactance into 1 and this thing into 1, so net I will have only 3 terms in my expression. Okay, clear. Okay, so whatever you have written is exactly right. Okay, so if you want to reduce, and then you can proceed. If you don't want to reduce, you can straight away write like this. Final end expression for equation 1 should be the same. You will get the same thing.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. I
Okay.
understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. So any approach you can follow, not an issue. Okay. Okay, so try to find out the nodal equation at node 2 and try to simplify.
Sir, for node 2, V2 bracket 0.1 minus 0.1 J plus V1 0.1 J is equals to minus 0.5 angle minus 90.
Okay. Okay. So same thing. I have not reduced. Maybe I have written straight away this expression, but whatever approach I follow, the end equation will be exactly matching with others. Okay. So let's see that. So similar to the first equation only, I have written the equation for second also, maybe. Okay. So if you see here, so we are trying to write an expression with all the nodes, all the currents coming out of node 2. Okay. So if you see that V2 minus V1 divided by minus J5, that is one term. V2 minus V1 divided by plus J10, that is another term. Right. V2 divided by J5, that is third term. V2 divided by 10 ohms, that is your fourth term. And fifth term is current is leaving out of this node, so it will be same as it is, plus 0.5 at an angle of minus 90. Okay, so now you have to segregate V1 and V2 terms separately, and maybe you have to take this one onto the other side. So if you do that, you are getting something like this. Okay, so try to write that and check whether you are getting the same equation or not.
Same, sir.
Okay, so you have got exactly the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Exact. Same, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So all of you, please try to do that So you should get exactly the same expression. After that, you have two equations and two unknowns. So V1 and V2 you can find out. Okay. So only thing is you are dealing with complex numbers. Okay. In DC circuits you have dealt with real numbers. Here you have complex number, which is nothing but impedance. Okay. So I hope everyone will get this expression. So solving is simple and similar to the previous case. Okay, so you can find out delta. Any method you can adopt straight away. You can substitute your V1 and V2 in the expression. Okay, so if you do that, you are going to get delta as this one and delta 1 this thing, delta 2 as minus 0.1 plus j 0.2. So if you want V1, you should do delta 1 divided by delta, and if you want V2, you should do delta 2 divided by delta. Right. So I hope this is simple mathematics only. So you should be able to do this. No much complexity in this. So you are going to get V1 and V2 in phasor form as this one. V1 is 2.23 at an angle of minus 63.43 and V2 is 4.47 at an angle of 116.56 degrees. Okay. So you can simply convert that phasor into an equivalent time domain function as shown here. Okay. So this is how you have to proceed. So we are actually solving everything in terms of phasor quantities, and at the end we are converting back into a time domain function. Okay. So now at any instant of time you can find out what is the voltage at different nodes in the circuit. Okay. So that's how phasors are actually very helpful in solving or analyzing your circuit. Okay. So we'll try to solve this also. I have involved one dependent source here. So maybe you can, writing the expression is only the tricky thing. Once you write the expression, solving is not of much difficulty. Okay. So what they are asking. So everyone is clear, right? How we are writing the expression?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Fine. So here also we'll see how to write the expression and then we'll see the solving problem. Obtain the expression for the time domain currents I1 and I2 in the circuit shown below. One simple trick is, I mean, if currents are asked, always better to write mesh analysis. Okay. I mean, if node voltages are asked, it is better to apply nodal analysis. Okay. Right. If node voltages are asked in the question, it is easy to apply nodal analysis. You can approach any method, but nodal analysis will give you straight away the node voltages. If currents are asked, try to apply mesh analysis, then you will get the currents. So here they are asking us to find out the time domain expressions I1 and I2 for the circuit shown below. Okay. So I think, yeah. Okay. So try to convert into equivalent phasor domain circuit and then determine, I mean, give the mesh currents I1 and I2 and try to solve it. Okay. First you convert the inductance and capacitance into an equivalent inductive reactance and capacitive reactance and write the voltage, source voltage given here, into an equivalent phasor format. Okay. So try to get the phasor equivalent circuit for this.
XL is equals to J4, sir, and XC is equals to minus J2.
XL is equals to J4, correct. XC is equals to minus J, how much?
2.
Minus 2J.
Minus 2J. So XC is equals to 1 by J omega C. So 1 by J into 500 into 10 power minus 6 into 1000 Okay. Right. Omega is 1000 here. Okay. So you have to calculate that. So you will get something. How much you got? Oh, okay. So 2, huh? Minus J2 you got?
Yes, sir.
Minus J2 for 3, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So minus J2 seems to be correct. So let's see that. So you'll, since it is 10 power minus 6, you have 500 into 1000. So 0.5 you will get in the denominator. So if you make it to the numerator, it will be minus J2 ohms capacitive reactance. So let's see that. And what about this voltage? Phasor equivalent of this voltage?
10 at an angle of minus 90.
10 at an angle of minus 90.
10 at the angle of 0, sir.
10
It's
0.
10 at an angle of 0
10 at
because
an
it is straight away given in cosine function.
Cos
Okay.
function.
Okay. So if it's in sine function, then you have to convert into minus 90 into cos format. Okay. Right. Since it is already given in cosine function, I think there is no need to add plus 90 or minus 90. You will get 10 at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay. Right. So inductive reactance minus j omega L. So it is plus J4. Okay. So capacitive reactance, we are expecting minus J2. So let's see that. Okay. So that is also correct. So X is 1 by j omega C. So it is equals to minus J2. Okay. Next. Equivalent circuit. Equivalent phasor circuit is this one. Okay. So we have placed minus J2 here and plus J4 here. And this is 10 at an angle of 0 degrees. So now I am applying mesh analysis for these two. Okay, meshes. Okay. So I have denoted, you remember that this current I1 they are asking. So that means instantaneous current flowing through the 3 ohms resistor they are asking. And instantaneous current flowing through minus J2 or capacitor they are asking. Okay. So always remember this is instantaneous current and this is a phasor current. That means I am applying mesh analysis using all the phasors in the circuit. Okay. Right. So this current I1 with a bar is actually a phasor. This current I2 is actually a phasor. Don't get confused this phasor with current. Okay. Right. So apply mesh analysis for this loop and mesh analysis for this mesh and try to get two equations. Try to write those two
3 I1
equations. 3 I1 phasor. Yeah.
plus minus I2 phasor into 4j
Okay.
is equal to 10.
Is equals to 10 at an angle of 0 degrees. Okay. Fine. So I hope that is correct. Okay. So similarly, you have to write
Four-
the equation for second mesh also. Okay. You can say.
4j
Okay.
I2 minus I2 phasor
Correct.
minus plus 2
Okay.
I1 plus 2 I1.
Okay. So you are saying plus 2 I1. So I1 is a phasor or small, I mean current I1. What is that I1? Plus 2 I1 you are saying. Na? I1 is a phasor or not? What? Okay. So in the expression, if you see this term, it is plus, this is a current dependent voltage source. Okay. So straight away it will be plus 2 into I1 they are saying. So what is that current? So the current I1 is seen flowing in this branch. Okay. So if you see that this I1 phasor what you have denoted and this current I1 are in the same direction. Okay. So that means if you convert this I1 instantaneous current into an equivalent phasor form, that will be same as this one. Okay. So this I1 phasor and this I1 are same. Okay, one is in frequency domain, another one is in time domain. That's all. So you can convert this I1 into an equivalent phasor also. That means it will be plus 2 into I1 phasor. That will be your expression. Okay. Okay. So for loop 1, so this is what you have to write: minus 10 at an angle of 0 degrees plus 3 into I1 phasor plus 4 into I1 minus I2 phasor. Okay, so exactly what you have told. And if you segregate it, you are going to get this kind of expression. Okay, so for second equation, if you see, I am starting at this point. So plus J4 into I2 minus I1. I2 is going in the upward direction, I1 is trying to come down. So I2 minus I1 minus J2 into I2 as it is. So plus 2 into phasor current of I1. Okay. So plus 2 into I1 is equals to 0. Since I1 phasor and I1 are same, because one is in phasor format and the other is in time domain format, that's all. Why means because the direction of current I1 phasor what you have chosen and the direction of current I1 which was given in the circuit are the same. Okay, are in the same direction. So one is in phasor form, another one is in time domain form, that's all. So that's it. So you will get this kind of expression. Is everyone clear regarding
Sir?
equation 2?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Any doubt?
sir, for loop 2, sir, what you have written, the third component, sir, plus 2 I2 or I1, sir?
That is I1.
Okay, sir.
I1. Right. So since I1 is equals to I2, that's I1.
Sir, why we took 2I1 as 2I1 bar, sir?
2I1 bar. See, if you see what is the first term here, it is in phasor domain. Okay. Current is a phasor and J omega is also a complex number. Okay. If you are writing an equation, all should be in phasor format. Okay. So you have to write plus 2 into I1 phasor. Okay. Why means in the present circuit, they are saying that it is an current dependent voltage source. On what current it is depending? It is depending on current I1. Okay. So if you check this current I1, which is an instantaneous current, okay, and this current phasor, if you what you have chosen, I1 loop current, are exactly in the same direction. Okay. So that means the two currents are same. Only thing is one is in time domain, another one is in phasor domain. That's all. Since you have to solve your expression, or you have to write your expression first in phasor form, then solve it. Okay. So we are writing the phasor current I1. Is it clear, or you have still any doubt or confusion in this?
Yes, sir, no clear, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I1, I2 in first term or second term, whatever you have considered, all are in phasors. So you have, when you are writing an expression, better to write everything in phasor format only. Okay, right. So that's why you have taken 2 into I1 phasor. Why means in the present circuit, I1 is flowing in 3 ohms resistor and I1 phasor is also flowing in the 3 ohms resistor, and both are flowing in the same direction. Okay, right. So that's why this I1 exactly matches with I1 phasor current. Okay, so that's why I have written this. So you have two equations and two unknowns, I1 and I2. So you can solve that. So if you solve that, you are going to get, this is delta and delta 1, and I1, you are going to get this kind of current. Now you can convert I1 phasor into I1 of t, that is time domain, straight away. And I2 will be something like this. Try to solve this. At least for one variable, you try to find out what is I1 phasor and equivalent time domain function. So find out delta and delta 1 and do delta 1 divided by delta and get the current phasor.
Sir, can you please
Yeah.
show the previous slide? Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Find out only I1 phasor, okay? I2 you can solve. If you know solving one thing, then you can solve the other also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you get that current I1?
Sir, I did for I2.
Okay. So you got this expression or not? I2 phasor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I2 you are getting something like, if you convert into time domain, 2.77 into cos of 1000 t plus 56.3 degrees. Okay. So you have got I2. So similarly you can get I1. Right. So if you see in the circuit, so the I1 phasor direction and the current I1 are the same. So that's why I1 can be straight away converted into current domain, I mean time domain. So you can write an expression for I1. You can also write an expression for I2. Okay. So if I ask a question, what is the current flowing through J 4 ohm inductive reactance from top to bottom? Okay. So what will be that? Current flowing from top to bottom through J 4 ohm inductive reactance.
I1 minus I2, sir.
I1
What
minus
will
I2.
So it should be I1 minus I2.
I2.
Okay, from top to bottom, if I say it is the current flowing from top bottom to top terminal to ground terminal. Okay, so it is from top to bottom in this direction. So since your current I1 phasor is coming from top to bottom and I2 phasor is flowing from bottom to top, so I1 minus I2 will be the current coming from upper node to ground node. Okay, so from top to bottom it should be I1 minus I2 phasors. Okay, right. So if I ask you to find out what is the current flowing through J 4 ohms inductance in time domain function, so what you have to do, you have to first calculate the difference of these two phasors. That means I1 phasor minus I2 phasor you have to calculate. Okay, after that you can convert into a equivalent time domain function. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so in the question I have not asked what is the current flowing through that middle branch. If in case I ask, you can subtract I1 minus I2 based on the direction whatever you have chosen. So in the present direction I have chosen, current flowing will be I1 minus I2 from top to bottom. So that phasor you can convert into equivalent time domain function and give me the expression. Okay, right. So this is how you have to do your mesh analysis. Okay, so we will meet after 10 minutes. Now it's 11:21, so 11:30 we will join back. Okay, right. Okay then. Anyone has doubt in this?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, you can leave and join back at 11:30. Fine.